Hi there, so today's class we are going to be putting our foot on the power pedal. Just adding that little bit of power to the practice. And if you're not feeling the power today, then there are so many options that you can enjoy the Vinyasa to suit you. So we're going to start on our knees and hands, coming into just a few wrist circles. Because to me, when we add some power, maybe in a plank or in a downward facing dog, and we're just going to get some circles going, your wrists will be your weakest link. Maybe your wrists will give up before your core does. And we want to make sure that we are sort of just pre-warning our wrists. Let's go both ways with those circles, that they're going to do a little bit of work for you. And then maybe adding a bit of a side to side. Maybe even coming a little bit forward and back. And that's the one that gets me, just in that little forward rock. I just feel that. I just think, oh my goodness, I felt that. So on those feelings, try and find you've got a bit of lift in your body. Try and not impact all your weight. And then just come into a point where you feel more comfortable, a little bit of easy neutral back. Just taking your feet back, coming into a high plank right from the beginning here. And if it doesn't feel too bad for you, we're just going to take your right leg off the mat and just take a little hold. Now try and find that you're pushing away from your hands on your mat and not pushing down into them. Want some light and lift in our practice today. Let's put that foot down. Let's do the same on the left, just hold in. So all we're doing is destabilising a little bit. Our balance is just on both hands, but just on that one leg. We're having to really compensate. And then back into your plank pose. Lower your knees and just sit back to child's. And while we're in child's, you can just take a little bit of time just to sort of find your breath. And what we could do here is just get our wrists moving, a little bit of circling around. What sometimes I feel like I'm going to do is sort of screw up two pieces of paper in my hands and make big fists. And then like those pieces of paper are red hot, so we just sort of spring the hands away. And you can do that a couple of times, just to sort of get into the finger joints, knuckles, and then back to those wrist circles, or anything you feel comfortable with, just to get your wrists a little bit mobile. And then reach the arms out as you push the hips back, and just bow the head so you've got some length in the neck. And on your next exhale, just rolling the shoulders away from the neck. Just come back up onto our knees and hands and just come into a cat spine and just take a little hold there, and just, we could sort of be with our neck here, and we could just move our head around a little bit, just nodding yes or no, or just a little figure eight or any shape that feels comfortable. And then just drawing the lower belly in, and then on the next breath in, just dropping down into your cow pose. And maybe for the first time today, just feeling that little back bend. We just want to again feel like we're pulling away from the mat. We're not drilling into the mat, up into our cat spine to downward facing dog. And we'll walk through our down facing dog. Just saying hello to down dog, maybe for the first time today. And I am always promoting that we do not ignore these down facing dogs, these transitional poses sometimes that we're in, we don't even know we've been in them, part of our journey that we just ignore. So really relish every single downward facing dog in your practice, because it is just such a breath of fresh air for your body. Rise into your toes, inhale, and pressing down through your heels, exhale, pushing that weight away from your hands as you lengthen your spine, limitless stretch through your body. Coming back to that plank, high plank, lifting your right foot off the floor and lower, lifting your left foot off the floor and lower, lowering your knees, sitting back to your child's but not held this time. And as you take your gaze forward, just slide onto your belly for the first of many cobra lifts, rolling the shoulders down. And then rolling back down through your chest, chin, nose and forehead. And if that back bend felt too harsh for you, move your hands a little bit forward until you're ready for more height. and come up into a cobra, which feels amazing. And then rolling back down through your chest, chin, nose and forehead. Going to tuck our toes under, bend our knees and come back into our down facing dog. So looking at our right leg now, lifting off the mat, 3-limb down facing dog, just stretching up through that standing leg, that's that raised leg, and pressing down through that standing leg. And then flex your foot so you feel the heat coming out of the heel, and touch the mat with your toes as you lower. Point the toes and raise that leg up. Flex the foot and lower that leg down. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you lower. Now this time as you lift that leg, take a knee bend and just find that sort of stretch in the thigh from the inner point of your hip all the way up to the tip of your knee. Bring that leg outside of your right hand to a lizard lunge. Drop your hips as low as you feel comfortable. You can always put your back knee on the floor here and reach your right arm up as you twist in. And see if you can get those hips just a little bit deeper as you reach up and open the chest. Bringing that hand back down. And let's take our right leg all the way back. Toes pointing. Flex out through the heel and downward facing dog. So it's like we're riding over the top of a cat spine, riding a wave over the top of our cat to our plank. And let's go back over that same wave into our down facing dog, pressing down through both heels. Coming one more time over that plank. Lower your knees, sit back to your child's. Get your gaze to the top of your mat, spread your hands out, and slide forward onto your belly as you take that low cobra, moving your hands if you need to, just to find that easy low back bend. Back to your down facing dog, exhale. Let's take our left leg off the mat with our toes pointing. Pressing slightly lower down through that standing heel. You can always keep that knee bent. Flex out through the heel and lightly tap the floor with your toes. Inhale, lift that leg up. Exhale, tap that leg down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Now on this one, if you remember, we lift and bend, and we're just creating a lovely feeling in the thigh, in the hip, from your joint of your hip to the tip of your knee. Bring that foot outside of your hand to your lizard lunge, and if you can, drop your hips lower, and if you need to, put your knee on the floor. Take that left arm up as you twist in, and see how much you can feel you're lifting away from your mat, rather than drilling that wrist down. Lower that hand down. Take your left leg all the way back up, toes pointing, and come back into your down facing dog. And let's just have a pedal out again, and maybe get a little bit more into the rhythm of our hips, our breath. Have a little dance around downward dog, and that can even include your neck and your head, as if you were just jigging along to your favourite song. And then walk your feet all the way to the top of your mat. Feet comfortable distance apart. Bend your knees loads and just grab your elbows, and just like a rag doll, just have a little hanging in. Just sort of feel like all that hard work is just oozing out of your upper body, your shoulders, your arms, your wrists and your hands. And then as you inhale, just bring your hands to your shins and come to a flat back, tabletop spine, where we feel we've got a little bit of lightness and a little bit less pressure on our backs here. And then back to your forward fold with both straight or bent legs. Take a breath in, come back to that flat back, and let your hands find your hips or waist and come slowly up, eyes following to Tadasana. So I'm going to step to the top of the mat and just warm with a few sun salutations until we're ready to put that power back into our practice. So from Tadasana, hands coming to your sides or bringing your hands into prayer in front of your chest here. Shoulders are all the way down our back, belly in, take a breath in, circle the arms up, touch the palms together above your head, and as you exhale, bringing your hands back to your heart or to your sides. Inhale, circle the arms. This time as you bring your hands to your hearts, let's come into a forward fold, Uttanasana. Lift the chest, gaze back is flat. And take a fold back to your legs, knees, thighs lifted, feet grounded. Circle those arms all the way back up, reaching up a little higher. And if it is in your practice, add a little back bend this time. And let's go back into that forward fold, exhale. Lift the chest to gaze, step back to plank, high plank. And then lowering your knees and your chest, and as you inhale, sliding through to a low cobra, and just building those back bends as the heat builds. Belly in, tuck the toes under, and downward facing dog. Let's take a 3 or 4 breath hold here. So just thinking about the form. Fingers are spread out beautifully. Weight is pushing from your fingers all the way up through to the shoulders. Shoulders are open, spine is long, lower belly's lifted and active with our legs here. Taking a breath in, looking at the hands and stepping to the top of the mat. Let the hands find the shin bones as you find your midway spine. And then take a fold to your legs, exhale, knees, thighs lifted. Taking a breath in, circling the arms all the way up. And as the hands come back to the heart, let's start that all again. Circle the arms up, inhale. Taking a forward fold, exhale. Lifting the chest to gaze, stepping back to high plank. From your plank through knees, chest, elbows stay by your side of your waist, and as you inhale, let's find our cobra. Toes are tucking under and downward facing dog. Let's lift our right leg off the floor this time. Take that knee bend that we just explored and bring your foot outside of your right hand. Take a breath in, lift the right arm up as you twist in. And as you lower that hand, step that right leg back to that 3-limb plank where we held our right leg off the floor. Halfway down this time, and as you tuck your toes under, find upward facing dog and downward facing dog, exhale. So back to our down facing dog, our alignment has stillness if we wish to. The neck is relaxed, our gaze soft back to our toes. Rise to your toes, look at your hands, bend your knees, and if you're ready to, take a jump to your hands. Halfway with your spine, inhale. And take a fold to your legs, exhale. Circle the arms up, and as your palms reach at the top of your head, bring your hands back to your heart, exhale. Inhale, circle the arms. Forward fold, exhale. Lifting the chest, stepping or jumping to plank. Coming down through Vinyasa, using your knees or Chaturanga to up dog, or stay with your cobra. And downward facing dog, exhale. Let's take our left leg off the mat. Find that knee bend, so heel to bottom, knee to ceiling. Bring your foot outside of your hand to our lizard lunge. Inhale, lift your left arm as you twist in. As you lower your hand to the mat, take your left leg back to your 3-limb plank. Find Chaturanga, and as you tuck your toes under, we're into up dog. And downward facing dog, exhale. And back to a short hold. So our breath is full. And our breath just complements our physical movement throughout the practice. So nice full breath, nice chilled breath, nice indulgent breath. Gaze is forward. Have a look at your hands, stretch back to your thighs and jump or walk to the top of your mat, back is flat. Bend your knees and come into chair pose. Taking your chair pose as deep as you wish to go and reaching high, so we feel a little heat building in our oblique muscles and in our back. Firing up our core back. Keeping the chin tucked in so the gaze is maybe soft just to the top end of your mat. We're going to take a big circle with the arms and find our prayer hands in front of our toes. And then we're going to come back with that circle and bring our hands above. Let's do that again. So breath in and breath out. This time as the hands come down, they find the floor and straighten the legs and forward fold. Lift the chest to gaze, step or jump to your plank. Use your vinyasa of knees or chaturanga into up dog or into cobra. Now let's tuck our left toes under from here and go straight up into our 3-limb downward facing dog. Bend your knee again as we've been doing, but this time bring your right knee to your right elbow and just give it a little tap. And if you want a little power, just touch your foot next to your hands and then send that leg back all the way to your 3-limb down facing dog. This time as the leg comes through, place the foot in between the hands and inhale, come up into a high lunge. Palms pressing together. If you want to find a little bit of challenge in your balance, we're just going to lift our front heel off the floor. And we're just going to find a little steady balance here. Now this is the one and only balance that I've added to the practice today. So as you lower your heel, we're just going to take a dive forward. Keep your chest away from your thighs if your thigh was hot. Slide your hands underneath your chest and just lift into a warrior 3 here. My balance is awful, but I'm not going to pause and stop. We know this is real when the instructor falls over. So find your balance. Hopefully your balance is better than mine. And just take a hold. And then quietly step back into your high lunge. Inhale. And lower your hands. Step back to your vinyasa. How is your balance? Was it better than mine? Vinyasa through. As you find your up facing dog, tuck your right toes under and take your left leg up. Bend your knee, explore that knee bend. Bring your knee to your elbow. And if it's there for you, just touch your foot next to your hand. Take that leg back up to your 3-limb down facing dog and bring it back, but this time in between your hands. Inhale as we lift into our high lunge. I always call this a balance because it is a balance. It is a first balance. It's a bit of a confidence builder. So build your confidence maybe by lifting your heel. And if you've got your heel raised, challenge it by trying to extend a little higher. Feel like you're growing your balance rather than sinking into it. As that heel lowers, take your dive forward. Feel this sort of height in your dive rather than that you'll collapse into your thigh. Bring your hands to your chest. Hopefully this balance will be a little better than the last one. Lift your back leg off the floor and find your warrior 3. Just a quiet moment, just to try and come into a bit of a relationship with that balance. But this time we're going to step in, bend our knees and come back to our chair. We're going to circle our arms down, palms together, and circle our arms up, palms together. Circle our arms down and circle our arms up. As our hands come down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Lift the chest to gaze, step or jump, just with our breath. Halfway down, upward facing dog. Left toes tuck, right leg lifts. Bring your knee to your same elbow. Touch your foot to your hands. Send that leg high, 3-limb down facing dog. Step your foot through between your hands. Inhale up into your high lunge balance. Take a dive forward. Bring your hands to your chest, pick up your back leg and find your warrior. Step back nice and softly. Inhale, circle the arms, high lunge. Exhale, vinyasa. Step back to plank. Chaturanga Dandasana. Into up facing dog. Right toes tuck, left leg lifts, 3-limb down facing dog. Bend the knee, heel to bottom. Knee to elbow. Foot to hands. Back to 3-limb. Inhale. Step that foot through. Come up into your high lunge balance. Take your dive forward. Draw your hands to your chest. Step the back leg off the mat, warrior 3. Step into chair pose. Inhale, circle the arms. Straighten the legs. Exhale, Tadasana. So hopefully feeling warm, a little sweaty. We're going to step wide on our mat. And we're just going to come into a little flow here. So nice and wide. We might have to move our feet around a little bit, but that's not a problem. And we're going to start by turning the right foot out. So left toes turned in, right heel pivoted. And let's just find an easy triangle pose. So each pose we've got a little short hold here, not too long. But we're just going to sort of use our holds to establish some alignment. Or maybe to go a little deeper. Or maybe we've gone too deep and we have to just come back a little higher. Trikonasana. And then we're going to exhale the left arm across, but keep that lovely scoop of your underneath waist. Now putting our foot here on the power pedal here, I'm going to offer that you bring your right arm up as well. And we are holding this for a moment, so just try and feel like you're squeezing your arms to frame the side of your head. If you can, we turn from there, so we're facing our front thigh. And bring your hands down either side of that foot. Now this back foot will have to come in a little bit, and it might even want to step a little bit wider. Tuck your right hip in, use blocks if you need to, if your hamstrings are a little tight. You can stay where you are, you could come up onto your shins with your hands if you need to, or you can come with me and just take a fold over that front leg, just to get a little bit of a relationship going on with our hamstring here. And then making sure that you've got weight in the back heel as well, that you're not sort of forcing everything into the front leg. And lift the chest. I'm going to bring our left hand so it crosses over to the outside of your right hand, little finger, little toe. And we're going to twist our triangle pose. So we're going to reach up through the right arm. If you want to modify that, you just wrap the arm behind your back. And when your body's a little bit closer down into your back, hopefully your balance will be a little bit easier. But if you can, we're going to reach that right arm up to the ceiling and rotate our triangle pose. And I think this is a really tough balance. Think about your back leg. Don't let it all be forcing into your front leg. And then bring both hands back either side of your front leg. Exhale, just dip back into that fold. Reach both arms all the way up. Turn your feet in towards the middle line of your mat and take a wide forward fold. Now we're going to leave our hands on our hips and just come down with our body, with our frame. And just use the strength and the lift and the power in your legs and your own natural flexibility and patience. And then if you want to, just let your hands find the floor as well. And just gently pull yourself a little bit deeper if that's for you. Make sure your weight isn't all heavy in your heels. Have a little tip forward. And then as you inhale, come halfway. And then a little bit of strength to our backs. We're going to reach both arms forward. So we're increasing the length from our tailbone now, right the way through to our fingertips. Then reach our arms out wide like we have wings. And come all the way up. And we might just need to shorten our stride again. Left foot turns out. Just glide into your edge here. And coming into your triangle pose left side. So we're going to roll our hips open, stack our hips. Left hip tucking under, right hip rolling back. Your fingertips can be on the block, they can be on your shin. Your ankle, they can be on the mat if you want them to be. Going to exhale this right arm across. But keep that lovely feeling of scoop through your underneath waist. Add in the power by lifting your left arm also. But if that's too strong for you, then don't go there, leave your hand on the mat or leave your hand on a block. But if you are with me, we spin to face that front thigh, hands to the mat, and just move that back foot. You just play with it. You can move it once, you can move it several times. Tuck your left hip in, keep your chest lifted. And then if you have got that flexibility and that heat in your hamstrings, we just fold over that leg. Nice lazy breath. Just making sure that you are feeling it in both legs, not just in your front leg. Inhale, lift your chest. So again, you might need to move your foot around a little bit. Your right hand is crossing over. So if you want to keep it a little easier, wrap your left arm. Find that twist in your triangle pose first. And then reach your arm up last. And then squeeze in your middle like a sponge here. Now try not to feel that your right hand on the mat there is a shelf for you to rest your whole weight into. Try and feel like it's a trampoline to lift you up, to bounce you up a little bit in this tough twist. Bringing both hands back either side of your front leg. Lift your chest, reach both arms forward and come all the way up. Turn both feet wide again. Hands come into your hips and then drop your arms behind your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades like you had something held between them and lift your chest, belly in. Just take a lovely wide fold with our chest flow. I always tell my class, feel this movement starts from your shoulders. It doesn't start from your hands. Go with the movement as how it feels in your shoulders today, how much rotation and freedom and space you have. Don't try and force it by just pulling your arms over. It really doesn't matter where these arms land. It's amazing for your shoulder flexibility and your arm tone. And then come halfway up, flat back. Sweep those arms forward so your extension from your tailbone to your fingernails is maximum. Reach your arms out wide. Now this time as you inhale, bring both arms up, make a star. Turn your right foot out to the side and just find a one and only warrior. Bring your back arm across and step back to plank. We're coming right down onto our belly here. And then just reaching back with the arms so your fingertips push back to your toes. Keep your chin tucked in, and as you inhale, just find that low cobra chest lift. And maybe your legs exhale will lift too. And then arms reach into the back of your mat. Heart lift into the top of your room. And we're sort of feeling a little bit of heat here. Now bringing the power in here, if you want to, like a swimming. Inhale, swim your arms forward. Have a plant there. Exhale, swim your arms back. Mind your furniture and your greenery. Inhale, the arms swim forward. Exhale, reach them back and lower. Bring your hands underneath your ribcage, tuck your toes under. Use as much or little body as you need to. Push back to plank. Lift your right leg off the floor and hold. Feel that relationship as you sort of steady your balance. Tuck your right toes under. Take your left leg off the mat. And back to your high plank, downward facing dog. Exhale, how are we doing? So let's just add a little bit to that. Take a breath in, gaze to the top of your mat, bend your knees, step or jump to the top of your mat, landing chair. Sweep your arms up, palms pressing. Sweep your arms down, press the hands. So we're going to inhale up, exhale down. One more breath in. And hands to mat, forward fold, Uttanasana. Lift the chest to gaze, back is flat, weight is forward. Step or jump to your plank Vinyasa. Use your knees if you need to. Upward dog or flying cobra. Tuck your left toes under, take your right leg high. Bend your knee heel to bottom. Bring your knee to your same elbow. Touch your foot next to your hands. Inhale, right arm raises, twist in. And exhale, lower. Take your right leg back, 3-limb down facing dog. Bring that leg all the way through. And windmill your arms up into warrior two. So we're going to take a side angle pose. Let's start with our arm on our thigh. and reach our left arm high. Drop down into your hips where you feel comfortable. Maybe your hand will come to your calf, maybe your hand will come to your mat. It doesn't really matter where it comes. You can use a block if you need to. Reach that arm over into side angle and then spin to face your front thigh, pivoting onto your back toes, high lunge. We're going to bring our palms together here in front of our chest and bring our left elbow to the outside of our right knee. If you need to modify this, you could put your knee on the floor and then squeeze you to your thigh. Don't force your thigh to you. If you want bigger and bolder, your left hand will come to the mat. Your right arm reaches and you spread your wings. And that little squeeze in. Now here's the thing, we're going to come back with our hands pressing into our chest. And then as we turn the other way, we're going to bring our back foot to the ground and find this variation of our side angle with our hands in prayer. And again, if you want to, like we did at the beginning, just open out the arms. Now as we come up through Warrior Two, we're going to bend the left knee and drop down into an animal lunge. Use this left arm to draw the hip open, and if you want to, you could take this right arm up and throw it and just spin onto the heel of your right leg as you find your flexibility in that hamstring again. Now as you turn to the top of your mat, you're going to wiggle your left foot a little bit wider and step your right foot next into it and drop into Goddess. I'm just going to shimmy back so I know I'm in shot with my small house for space for filming. So no power, is just to hold a Goddess here. Just use a little bit of pressure with your arms pressing into your knees. And then from there you'll just come back into a plank in a moment or a downward facing dog. Or we're just going to take a crow pose. So if crow pose is in your practice, just going to pop up onto the backs of our elbows or the backs of our arms, and then just one or two, have a little go, you never know, a little courage there. And maybe if you are in a power mood today, chaturanga from there. Woohoo! Inhale up dog, how are we doing? Pick yourself up and join me. And downward facing dog. Exhale. Amazing. So just a little pause here. Let's find our down dog and breathe. Come back to that breath and movement relationship. And then let's just take our left leg off the mat. So just bending the knee heel to bottom. Bring your knee to your same elbow. Drop your foot by your hands and lift your left arm as you twist in. Take that arm back to the mat and send that leg high. Inhale. Bring your leg all the way through. Bring your back foot down and windmill. Warrior Two. Arm to thigh, have a block there if you need it. Reach your right arm up. Drop down into your hips. Drop down with this left arm if you wish to. Exhale your right arm over, side angle. Now we spin to face that thigh, and as we do so, just come onto your back toes, high lunge. Bring your hands into your heart and your right elbow to your left thigh and squeeze in. Remember, you can put this knee down as a modification if you need to. Now your hands either stay here or we just take it a little deeper, right hand to mat and left arm to ceiling. And try and really ignite that back leg as well. And then bring your hands back to your prayer. Keep your hands to your chest. And as you come back to face the top of your mat, just bring your back foot around and bring your prayer hands onto the inside of your knee or thigh. And you can open that out also if you wish to. We're coming up into our Warrior Two. Bending our right knee, dropping down into our animal lunge. Spinning onto the heel of your left leg, opening in your right hip. And if your balance is there, just rolling this left arm back. Love this pose. Now as we spin to the other end of our mat, just wriggle that right foot wider, step your left foot in and find your goddess this end. And maybe a crow pose. Maybe this end you're feeling it, maybe this end you're not. We're going to take that whole sequence with our breath, or you could perhaps just take a child's pose from here. So whether you're coming with me crow pose or whether you're just going to step back to a plank, it's going to take your option. Maybe a little crow pose here, and maybe this time you just want to sort of walk it back to your plank chaturanga, into up facing dog or cobra, into downward facing dog. We're nearly there, guys. One movement, one breath. Rise to your toes, bend your knees, look at your hands, step or jump with your knees bent, chair pose. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, lower. One more, inhale. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Lift the chest to gaze, step or jump. Your vinyasa. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, left toes tuck, right leg lifts. Bend the knee, heel to bottom. Knee to elbow, foot to hands. Right arm lifts, inhale, twist in. And exhale. Right leg lifts to the sky. Bring that leg through, back foot to the ground, and windmill up, warrior two. Come into side angle pose, exhale. Spin to your thigh, spin onto your back toes. Bring your hands into prayer, and then just twist opposite elbow to knee. Spread your wings if you wish to, inhale. And hands back to your heart, exhale. As you turn to face the other side, bring your back heel to the floor. Open out your arms, inhale. And warrior two. Exhale, left knee bends. Dropping down into animal lunge. Reaching up through this right arm. Turning to the other end of your mat. Stepping your right foot in. Goddess pose. Goddess pose can be a transition to plank, or just take a crow pose here, and step or jump back to your plank chaturanga. Just be a little careful there of my furniture, up dog or cobra, and then right toes tuck, and left leg lifts. We're almost there. Exhale, your knee to your elbow, your foot to your hands. Inhale, lift your left arm, twist in. And exhale. Take your left leg high, 3-limb down facing dog. Bring that leg all the way through. Your back foot spins, and we windmill up, warrior two. Come into side angle, your side angle, still using a block if you need to. Turn forward to face your thigh. Spin onto your back heel, bring your hands into your prayer. Twist your opposite elbow to your thigh and spread your wings if you wish to. Bring your hands back to your prayer, and then as you spin back to the forwards, bring your back heel back to the floor. Open out your side angle arms and come up into your warrior two. Right knee bends as we drop down to our last animal lunge. If you want to, throw this arm away. Spin round to the top of your mat and step your left foot in to your goddess pose. From your goddess pose, come all the way up to standing and turn your feet back to Tadasana. Take a breath in, circle the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Lift the chest to gaze, take 2 steps back to downward facing dog. And just find a little peace here in down facing dog. So we're just now easing the foot off that power pedal. We're just going to walk our feet in, step or jump, come to a seated. Bring your feet here at the top of your mat. Bring your arms in front or just hold them underneath the back of your thighs. And as you tuck your chin in, just roll slowly with control all the way down onto your mat. Stretch your legs out, stretch your arms out, a lovely big full stretch out. Going to bring our knees into our chest, 1, 2. And then maybe it feels nice, a little back massage, side to side, round and around. I'm going to place let's go with our right foot on the floor. And just find a happy baby with your left side. So you can use a strap for this one. You can hold your heel with both hands or just with one hand. You can even just hold the back of your knee there and hold the shape there of that happy baby. And just a little bit of ease into those hips. So we want to feel like we're sliding the leg down the side of our ribs there somewhere. And we have like a right angle shape with our legs. If you want a little bit more than that, then your left hand holds inside of your heel. And you just gently ease that leg shape away from you without rolling that way as well. In fact, you could take your right arm out as an anchor to keep yourself nice and based down towards the mat. Again, if it's in your practice, you want to, you can straighten that leg out, flex out through the heel, and then bend that knee back in so your knee sits neatly in your armpit there, and bring it in. Now bring that leg and cross it over the top of the right, bring your right leg in, hold the back of your knee or the top of your shin, and have a little big squeeze. And then just like you were playing the air guitar, have a little move around, have a little play around in the air with the feeling of this left hip here. Like you're pulling it away from your hip and squeezing it in. And then we're going to unfold this right leg, change our grip so we're holding the inside of that calf, and just squeeze that leg. So we're using our right straight leg, stretch our hamstrings, but just feel that heat in our left hip there. Now if you want a little deep core here, take the hands from the shin and place them behind the head. Chin tucks in, like a little crunch here. We just curl up to look at that leg. Now look at your core stability. Look at your belly and flatten it. Feel your back firm. And then with your legs in that shape, slowly push them down, all the way down towards the mat. Going as low as you can without discomfort. And then all the way back. And back up. Think of just a little kiss of your shin there. Lower it down. And then one more time. All the way back. And then when it's back, lower your head and bring your knees into your chest. Exhale and massage again. And then just place your left foot on the floor wherever you're comfortable to put that leg. Find your happy baby on your right leg. It's like a right angle. Your back is flat. Your back is firm. Your belly's in. Upper body is relaxed. And we're not forcing anything now. Power's gone. You can hold with both hands. You can hold with a strap. You can hold with one hand just on the inside of your heel or the back of your knee. This left arm, if it's redundant, it can sit out by the side. We're moving that leg away slightly or more, whatever feels right. If you've got that flexibility, we're straightening. So we're not looking at a big, massive high kick. We're looking at keeping that stretch underneath the window of your shoulder there. And then if you've gone for the straight leg, bend it back in, back into your happy baby. And just place that heel outside of your thigh. Bring your left leg in, big squeeze. Absolutely stay with this. Head on the mat, just have a little play, little air play with that hip. Find the feeling of it and just explore it. Or you could go for your shin if you wanted a bit more power there, just to feel more in your hip. The only power you're adding is the awareness, the stretch in the hip there. And then we're just going to straighten this left leg. We're going to reach up, find the back of our calf. Maybe just staying with the back of your thigh if that's necessary. Or you might find you can get a little higher. And if you're drawing this leg in and your tailbone is rolling off the back, it absolutely doesn't matter. And then if you want a little more than that, again, just spread the hands behind the back of the head. Tuck your chin in. Take a little crunch up. Always looking at your core, your stability and your safety. And then pushing those legs down. If you can't get right to the floor, it really doesn't matter. And then all the way back. Breathing wise, what is easier? Going down, so inhale. And what is tougher? Coming back. Exhale. Lower your head. Hold the tops of both knees. And big circles. Like you were drawing a lovely big doodle. In fact, let's doodle our legs a little bit instead of perfect circles. Let's get a little bit messy. Nearly there. Big hug of your knees into your chest. Take your arms out to the side. Take your knees to one side and turn your head and relax and breathe. Legs on the ground. Do what you need to get your legs on the ground. And that feeling in these last twists that you've absolutely earned this. One of our best yoga finishes are these lovely passive twists. And then let's do the same on the other side. Maybe this thigh might be just feeling a little bit tougher than the first side because you've had a choice. So you usually go with your favourite first. Perhaps next time when you have a choice, go with your least favourite first. I know it's hard. And back into the centre. So let's just take a last hug of our knees. Now I'm going to come up and say goodbye to you. If you want to spend some time in Savasana, find yourself in Savasana. Make yourself warm and quiet. And give yourself some time for you. Or if you are coming with me, just coming up to the seated. And there we have a little bit of power vinyasa today. So we're going to take a final roll of the shoulders down together. Take a breath in and we breathe in all this positive energy. And we catch it in our palms. And bring that positive energy all the way down, exhale to our heart. And namaste. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you again hopefully very soon. Take care and enjoy your day.